Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition on the PC. So, I've done a lot. um, I mean, the amount of content that I've cut out of this Let's Play and done on my own is really a testament to just how much content there is in the game. Um, I mean, obviously, Chapter 2 and this whole open thing is the biggest chapter of the game. But it's also comprised pretty much entirely of optional content. So, like I said, I debated on how much I wanted to show you. We're actually not going to move on to chapter 3 just yet. I did want to show off at least a couple things still here in chapter 2. I built up that Cult of the Eyeless, the Hidden Eye or whatever. I built that up quite a bit. And I put off doing it on my own for whatever reason, and I just wrapped up my D&D video on Beholders. So I thought, why not actually play through on camera the cult section? So we're gonna do that, but before we get into that, I have to talk about my character and what's transpired since the last video. I'm now level 19, pretty high level for this point. I mean, if you're going solo, if you're playing solo and you do like every side quest, you're gonna get a lot of XP, you're gonna get a lot of gear, you're gonna get a lot of money. 20,000 gold. You actually only need 15,000, as you later discover. But I hit 20,000 gold a long time ago, and after a while, there's just no point to having gold in this game. Much like D&D. I mean, well, with D&D, you can do all sorts of shenanigans, I guess, of buying castles and blah blah blah. But it's not like you can just walk around and buy powerful magic items. It doesn't work like that. So, yeah, level 19, which is pretty good. Basically, yeah, as you just go up in levels, you just get more spells, and some of your numbers get better. That's about it. So, as far as equipment goes, we got a decent array of equipment. It's almost every good thing you can get from chapter 2. Not quite, but pretty damn close. There's one ring I need to get yet. That involves fighting one of the toughest enemies in the game. Um, and really, you could come back later and do it then when you're more powerful, but, where's the challenge in that? So, the staff is my most recent pick up. This comes from a fight. One of the hardest fights in Shadows of Am. Again, you could come back later and do it, but that fight I find easier to cheese than the fight I haven't done yet. So it's a fight against a beholder, a vampire, a lich, something else, a couple other things. A couple of them died right away. But yeah, it either requires some really high powerful stuff or some cheese. So I did some cheese. And we have the Staff of the Magi, best staff in the game. It gives you +2 to your armor class and saving throws. You get invisibility as soon as you equip it, immunity to charm, and protection from evil. All good stuff. You can also whack somebody with it, which casts a level 30 Dispel Magic, which is nice. And it has some charges in it for Fireball, Lightning Bolt, and once per day you can cast Spell Trap, which traps any spells cast against you. So, yeah, technically it's like a +5. staff. So yeah, it's all pretty good. It's pretty good staff. Pretty good staff. Robes, we have arguably the best robes in the game. These you can just buy. These are really the easiest to get. They just cost like 20,000 gold. The robe of Vecna, armor class 5, which is pretty damn good for robes. Plus 10% magic resistance. That's fine. Most importantly, improves your casting speed by 4, which is very significant. The earlier you grab this, the better, because it just makes you immensely more capable in combat. You can fire off more spells. You're much less likely to get interrupted. All that good stuff. Bracer's defense AC 3 just sets your armor class at 3. And then you get the dex modifier, which for us is -4. You get the other stuff. So we're down to -5 across the board for AC, which is not too shabby for a spellcaster. That's without any buffs. This I just happened to pick up. There's better necklaces. We'll pick one up late. Some items are just not available to us yet. This just makes us more resistant to polymorph. Ring of Acuity. You can memorize 2 extra 2nd level spells, 1 extra 3rd level spell, 1 extra 4th level spell. It's not essential to have in any way, shape, or form. But more spells is more fun. Ring of Princess +1. You might have already seen that. Pretty basic. Cloak of the Sewers, +1 armor class. And you can polymorph yourself once per day into a rat, a troll, or a mustard jelly. It's not incredible. We'll find better in the game, but mustard jelly specifically is sort of nice. Because I believe they're immune to all magic or something like that. Or something like, or they're immune to some, I don't remember. Paws of the Cheetah, or as it used to be called, Boots of Speed. All they do is double your movement rate. While this is a huge convenience outside of combat to just move quicker across a map, it is very handy in combat because normally you cannot outrun your opponents in any way. With this, you outrun your opponents, which means you can move away and then set up traps, drop skull traps or drop, whatever. Or wait for your spell time to recharge so you're not just getting wailed on in the interim. Very handy to have. Pretty much the best boots in the game, I think. Then I still have the Elves Bane because we haven't found much better. Yeah, I also have this this bag of holding type thing from Hexat that I said I was going to get. I did find her eventually. So she just hands this to you after she joins your party, and then you can boot her out and you keep the bag. This has been a real lifesaver. You can just stash crazy amount of stuff in here. And as a solo character, you normally cannot hold that many items. Especially as a spellcaster with low strength, you can't hold that many heavy items. So just being able to stuff it all in here while in a dungeon was super handy. And you can see I have 171,000 gold, but blah, blah, blah. Moving on to spells. I'm trying to think where we left off at the last video. What spells was I throwing around? I want to say I was around this point, maybe level 5. I think maybe I just picked up Breach, possibly. Yeah, I mean, it dispels certain combat protections that other mages use. Feeble Mind permanently sets a target, like all their bunch of their stats to like 2. Basically, if Feeble Mind is successful, they just stand there and they don't do anything. They don't defend themselves. They don't move. They don't attack. They do nothing. They just stand there waiting to be killed. It's not incredibly useful in a lot of fights, especially later on, because you generally just want to kill things, and a lot of times this spell will never work. But sometimes if you're against like a strong fighter or something, you can blast them with this. They'll fail to save, and then they're nothing. It also has very specific uses against dragons, which I'll probably show you. Lower resistance just lowers a creature's magic resistance by a healthy amount. 10% plus 1 per level. So for us, it's like 29% per cast. It has certain uses, I guess. Some creatures are just immune to spells, and it doesn't matter what you do to their magic resistance. But other creatures, you can lower it to make them very vulnerable. And so for certain creatures, it's handy. Shadow Door just makes you invisible, but now we have the Staff and the Magi, so it's not really useful anymore. Level 6 spells, you have Chain Lightning. It hits a target for a decent amount of damage, and then it bounces to every nearby enemy. We have a lot of AoE kill spells now, so it's not as good, but it's alright. Contingency. This allows you to plan some spells ahead of time. And when a condition gets triggered, it will activate those spells without you actually casting them. So the triggers can be like you see an enemy, or you reach a certain amount of health points, or you become helpless because you're like unconscious or blah blah blah, and the contingency will still trigger even if you normally could not cast a spell. So far throughout the game, I've set it up with a contingency that when I become helpless, I use remove magic on myself. But the problem is remove magic is sort of useless in that you want dispel magic, which I didn't take. So basically it does nothing. Basically the spell is just useless to me. I'm sure it has some things, but the problem is it can't access every level of your spells. So it's, yeah, there's a better version of this I'll talk about soon. Death Spell. It's an AoE kill spell. Anything with 8 hit dice, or yeah, 8 hit dice or less. Dies instantly. So it doesn't really affect anything that I couldn't normally kill with another spell or combination of spells, but it's just an instant snap your finger death to a whole range of little bullshit. And it also instantly kills summon creatures, which is pretty nice. Level 7, Mordenkainen's Sword. This is a summon spell. It summons this sword that is a +4 weapon, dealing 5d4 points of damage upon hitting a target. This thing is really good, especially at this point in the game for a lot of stuff, because it's immune to a lot. It's immune to almost, I think it's immune to like any physical attack, or almost any physical attack. So just having one of these out and having enemies beat on it uselessly for like, 5 minutes. It's well, not 5 minutes, but whatever. It's beautiful. And it does quite a bit of damage. And you can summon multiple ones at the same time. So not always like crazy overpowered, but oftentimes very useful. Project Image, basically you summon a duplicate of yourself that has the same hit points and spells and blah blah blah, and you can't do anything while this duplicate is running around, but it basically allows you to double your spell count, because you can just bring out this guy. He has all your spells, he can use all your spells, but it doesn't subtract from your spells. So the only problem is that he's not you, so he can't like explore the map. If you send him out of your sight line, he'll just like, you won't be able to see him anymore, because you are rooted. So it's not like you can just sit in the corner of the map and then just keep sending out your project images to explore the whole map without risk of you dying. It unfortunately doesn't work like that, which makes it not incredibly useful. I haven't used it too many times, but like you can bring it out at the start of a fight, and then you can just like double your amount of Mordenkainen's sword or something you can bring out. Spell sequencer allows you to store up to 3 spells of 4th level or lower. This is basically used for stacking up 3 skull traps in one spell and throwing them out all at the same time, which does a good amount of damage if the target is vulnerable to them. Abi Dalzim's Horrid Wilting is more or less the best AoE damaging spell in the game. It's a decent radius. It does 1d8 per level. So for us, it does 19d8 damage. If they save the spelling throw, they get half of that. And it doesn't harm. It only harms enemies. It only harms enemies with red circles. So you can just throw this around willy-nilly without ever worrying about hurting someone. And yeah, it kills shit pretty good. Pure Shield, this is basically the same spell as Lower Resistance, does that same effect, but then it also cancels 1 spell protection, including some pretty hefty defensive buffs. So that's nice to have. Spell Trigger allows you to store 3 spells of 6th level or lower, which I think I'm using right now for like, I think it's like, I have Breach, Lower Resistance, and Greater Malazan stored up. So you can just really debuff a target super quick. Yeah. Level 9, the highest level spells. We have Chain Contingency. This is the better version of Contingency. 3 spells, 8th level or lower. And so this allows you to set up the contingency that when you see an enemy, it will instantly launch out 3 Abi Dalzim's Horrid Wilting at the target, which will likely kill it and everything nearby it instantly with no cast time. It's pretty absurd. It's pretty absurd. It stops most encounters in the game. But you do have to reset that up every time, which is a little annoying. And then Time Stop. It does what it says. It stops time for everyone except for you. It lasts for 3 rounds. 3 rounds for you. You get 3 rounds of actions. If you cast any spells, they generally won't happen instantly. They happen at the end when the time stop wears off. But yeah, you can do a lot of broken shit with time stop. It's very nice to have. There are a few enemies that are immune to time stop, which is terrifying. But otherwise, yeah, it's very good. So you can do shit like you can have a chain contingency set up. It can instantly launch the 3 Horrid Wilting spells. You can time stop, set up another chain contingency, and then as soon as it wears off, it fires 3 more Horrid Wilting spells. And you can top it with a couple more Horrid Wilting spells that you cast yourself. It's pretty good. So that's where we're at. I would say we're pretty damn powerful for this point of the game, but there is some enemy level scaling in play. Depending on your level, you might find higher level enemies or more powerful enemies. So if you're exploring a dungeon, instead of just finding like skeleton warriors or something, if you're high enough level, you might come across a lich. So the game is prepared for you to be overpowered. Which keeps things interesting. In some games, I don't like that, like Skyrim or something like that. I don't care for it. But this game, it makes sense, because otherwise we would just be steamrolling everything. All right, let us head to the Temple District, now that we had that lengthy intro. And we're gonna head down into the sewers. And we're gonna see what this crazy cult is up to.
As you ask.
I've already cleared out the sewers. Right here, there's a high-level party of other adventurers. So it was a high-level fighter, thief, spellcaster, cleric. Pretty difficult, actually. Considering, like, most of the other stuff in the sewer is not that tough. And then if you go up here... I think it's up there. Is a mind flayer lair where there's a whole slew of mind flayers. Which, depending on when you walk in there, could be pretty bad. I did clear it out. The reward at the end is a weapon, a +3 weapon that you can use to craft an even better weapon. One of the best weapons, I guess, in Shadows of Amn. Okay, uncharted territory.
It shall be.
Let's get buff. You never know what might be lurking around the corner. I don't know exactly what contingencies I have in place. I don't think I have my chain contingency up right now, but that's all right. We don't need it.
A solid hit. A dangerous mistake.
Oh my god. It knocked me unconscious. So there was a regular contingency because I was helpless. So it used remove magic, but it didn't do a damn thing. So... oh my god, it's gonna keep knocking me out. Great start.
Yes? Consider it done.
Ridiculous. Little bat. Locked, huh? Let's see about that. No. Yeah, okay. Ooh, a shadow coming to get me. Coming to eat me up. That was a pretty good save. The only reason I don't summon Mordenkainen and Sword for everything is because it doesn't last exceptionally long. Do you sort of have to keep resummoning it? Let's see. Death spell might work. Nope, did not work. I know what would work. Skull trap will work. There you go. And how about another skull trap because we're in the mood? Fuck, I missed. Yep, the meteors still do some work. Get no complaints. I can't save because of the web. Whatever. Leave that. Yep. Got Cloud Kill and some ghosts. I believe we can just shut that off. Now I can't move. Alright, what will deal with these things? Chain lightning.
To battle and victory!
Just get out of that cloud kill. Oh, I got a fucking level drain, didn't I? I'm level 16. Damn, I lost access to fucking time stop. Now, is this a temporary level drain or is it a permanent level drain? Never know.
Hold! You tread on sacred ground. Only those who serve the unseeing eye may enter. I am Gaul, High Priest of the One God.
Now you can join the cult. Or you can, you know, you can pretend to join the cult. I just don't know if it gives like any different okay. Walkthrough does say you're better off pretending for now. Alright, that's probably more interesting. I wish to know more. How does one serve your unseen eye? The one God has demanded that his disciples achieve a higher state of wisdom. You must remove that which is limiting and offensive. The unholy eyes are removed from your head during the sacred initiation. If you survive and are proven faithful, the unseen eye accepts you into service. What if I'm not interested in having my eyes removed? It is a sign of weakness to refuse the enlightenment. Would you walk about willingly without arms, without feet? I do not think so. Still, the unseen eye could use the skills of one such as yourself. An exception could perhaps be made in your case. There is something that you could do that the Great One cannot, despite his vast power. Assist in that, and I will admit you into our ranks and into the unseen one's presence, yes? Tell me what it is, and I'll consider it. These holy grounds are part of a larger ancient structure. Dangerous if one ventures into the lower levels. The unseen eye knows of a valuable item in this area. If you were to venture below, you could prove your worth by retrieving this artifact for him. Do this, and I will allow you into our ranks and the one's divine presence. What is this item you speak of, and where would I locate it? The item is a rod, or part of a rod, rather, that you will find atop a holy altar. I cannot tell you more than that. You must let your faith guide you. And how would I get to these lower levels? I have a key I can give you. This will allow you entrance to the inner chambers through a door a short distance back the way you came, at the sewer passages. Very well, I shall do as you suggest. You are worthy in my eyes, faithful one. Here is the key. Once you have the rod, bring it to me, and together we shall present it to the unseen eye. Okay. Oh no, Ettercaps, what will I do? Dead. See, isn't that fun? Now, I'm gonna pop back out. We're gonna cure this level drain. Since we're in the Temple District. I should probably buy some restoration scrolls as well.
It shall be. Consider it done.
You have my greetings, faithful
Yes. Greater restoration. Greater restoration. Good, good, good. Restoration. The difference between restoration and greater restoration is that restoration, if you use it to cure level drain, makes you fatigued. So you pretty much have to rest after using it. Whereas greater restoration, you just keep on keeping on. I certainly would buy Greater Restoration if they sold it. But Restoration will do fine.
Very well.
Sometimes those buffs wear off for various reasons, so if you just re-equip the staff, you're good. Can't save, though. That's good.
Be wary, my friends. Someone has come before us. I can sense it.
Do not excite yourselves. I am here to retrieve this rod for your god. No, you must not do this. You cannot give the rod to the beholder, my lord. It is an artifact of immense power. But your eyes are gone. Why do you say this if you are servants of the cult? No, my lord, we are not. Or perhaps it is more correct to say that we are worshippers no longer. What brings you to this place? First, tell me what you mean by when you say you're no longer worshippers. My name is Cesar. I was once the one god's high priest. When I discovered the true depth of his evil, I escaped and met up with others who had left the cult. We tried to stop the beholder, but we have lost the senses he gifted to us for taking our eyes. We are truly blind, stumbling in our efforts to stop this evil. I am here for the same purpose, though I must retrieve a rod from below first. No, you must not do this. Why, what do you know about this rod? When I was the high priest for the Unseen Eye, I discovered that its purpose for coming here was to gain the powerful artifact below. It is an item of such destructive power that the gods themselves determined it should not be used again. It was split in two, and this half was secreted here. It is protected against intrusion by powerful magic and beasts that live in the caverns. Many of the Beholder's followers have perished trying to retrieve it. I know, my lord, that the Beholder has the other half of the rod. If he were to acquire this half, he would be capable of wreaking terrible destruction. What have you done here if you can't stop the Beholder from trying to get the rod? We tried to get the second half of the rod ourselves, to use its destructive power to defeat the Beholder. That is the only way to destroy the creature. The Beholder has failed to acquire the rod because the gods have cursed the item. This lets you determine the artifact's true worth, or threat. Would you be willing to go below and retrieve the artifact, my lord? Can this half of the rod work without the other half? No, that is true. The Beholder's half must be stolen for the power to be used. I know of a way to do this. Retrieve the first half and I shall tell you of it. Very well, I shall return as soon as I am able. I am most grateful, my lord. We have tried, but our blindness limits us. This chamber we are in is safe, so long as the sarcophagus is not open. I would ask that you do not try to open it yourself. I sense great evil from it, and I do wish my brethren and I to remain safe here. Oh, I pray that my God will someday forgive my great trespass and restore my sight. Be careful in the levels below, and remember that the gods will likely not allow one to take the artifact for themselves too long. Remember that. Godspeed. Okay.
I trust that all is well.
Good day to you.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, what's in this sarcophagus, you might ask? Well, it's a lich. And we're gonna kill it. Perhaps we sleep first. Okay, let's do that. Now, liches have a lot of magical abilities. No doubt about it. And they are immune to a lot of spells. But they are not unkillable. And that's what we're gonna do. So let's set up chain contingency. See enemy. Done. Okay. Then we're going to summon some swords. Chances are these swords are all going to die instantly, but if it kills,
What is my task?
If it kills all 3 of them with a death spell, then I'll time stop and summon 3 more.
On done.
Alright, let's try it.
You should not have come.
Long have I guarded, long have I suffered. Who are you, manling, to seek the mortal shell of Kangax? When evil was torn asunder, 3 pieces were locked away. For a millennium I have guarded this piece, dispensing death to those that follow darkness. You are no different, manling. Your death was ordained when Kangax fell. Okay, so one of the swords got a hit off right away. 18 damage, which is decent. So he used mislead, which means that he is completely invisible until this clone thing is dead. He can still be injured, he's still there, but he's invisible. Fire shield red, fire resistance, and it harms anyone that hurts him. Globe of invulnerability protects against spells, some spells, I think. So we're gonna open with, well, see, the problem is we can't target him with anything because he's invisible. So really we want to kill, well, let's see, the chain contingency is gonna fire. Okay. Well, I built that up way more than it needed to be. Yeah, I mean, the chain contingency with Horde wilting is pretty obscene. We're not going to use it too much. I didn't even think it would kill him, but yeah, it melted him pretty good. Alright. So that gave us golden arm and golden legs, which goes with our golden torso. These items are used to revive Kangax, who is a demi-lich. Incredibly powerful. We'll see how that fight goes. Alright. This looks good.
Consider it done.
Oh, huge spiders! What are we gonna do? I don't know. Can they be hopeless? They sure can. They are now despairing about life. Oh, I dispelled the effect. Shit. Okay. We can just do a little skull. Yeah, I knew that was gonna miss one. See what I mean about the boots of speed, though? Very handy in combat. As a spellcaster. Those spiders are pretty weak. Oh no, cloud kill. Mutated gibberlings. What will I do? Dead. I know, it's like we're cheating, but we're not cheating. It's all legitimate, baby. Oh, see? Doesn't work on there. That means it's not overpowered. It's okay. I wonder what will work. Perhaps this Horde wilting spell. Oh, worked pretty good. This guy seemed to dodge it.
A dangerous mistake.
Even though it's a big cloud, it's a one-time thing. So it doesn't, it's not like cloud kill. There we go. A little bufferoonie. Great tear in the earth has split asunder the structure before you. The roof of the structure is covered in tiny but intricate designs. You would do well to investigate them. Okay. The bridge has fallen and ends in death. Call forth the name to summon the path. What is the bridge? Ruin? No, I don't understand. What do you wish to know? The bridge will rise for those who belong. Speak of the bridge to show you belong. Show you belong or suffer the end. We'll try ruin. Ruin may end in death, but not always, and not with certainty. You have failed. Death sends a servant to educate. Okay, the greater ghoul. He tried to scare me. I blind his ass. Since he's blinded, he can't see me. Which, for a player, you would just keep moving until you could see him. But for an enemy, they just stand there. Bewildered. Okay, that was... We'll try this again. See, unlike, like, the circus, I don't automatically know the answer to this. And ends in death. Well, life always ends in death. Life is the bridge that must end in death, though duty may hold it at bay. You have spoken of the bridge, but this alone is not enough. You are not alone on the bridge. Call forth the name to summon the path. It travels with you, and through it you travel, and yet it does leave you behind. Who is with you? Okay. It travels with you, and through it you travel, yet it does leave you behind. Time. Time is with you and you travel through it, and all the while it moves away. Time goes on with and without you, though duty may make it wait. The bridge is not stable, and the end changes place. Call forth the name to summon the path. Choose the most difficult step on the bridge. First one, for there is fear in the unknown. The current one, for it alone is my choice. The last one is the end of the journey is death. The current one, for it alone is my choice. The current step may be your first and may also become your last. The other two are abstract. This one is yours to choose and shape, though duty may force the choosing. You have summoned the path and may join in the guarding. Duty awaits you. Damn, dude, look at me, Riddle Master! Oh, a group of beholders!
On my honor.
I don't think I'm even gonna get this time stop off. No. Yeah, so,
Yes?
you know, beholders usually don't work together, but goddamn when they do. Shit. Even one beholder's fucking me over.
Consider it done.
Look at these eye rays. God damn.
My casting has been interrupted.
Bullshit.
My casting has been
What? Why did it get interrupted? There must be some spell failure. Oh, that's a pretty... must be the anti-magic field, I guess. Okay, now it's gone. Now we stop time. Good. And now we launch this right about there. Good. And let's top it off with some of this. And let's move away. Alright, that worked pretty well. Alright. See? Simple as that. Alright, let me set up this spell sequencer. Skull trap. Let's look at the damage here. It doesn't say exactly from what. But I mean, only one number per thing. So like here, this is probably the wilting. I mean, undoubtedly, yeah, like this probably was the skull trap. It's skull trap triple is decent. It's decent. We leveled up though. That's good. Level 20. All right, level 9 spell. We get another choice. Shall we go down the list? There's some cool stuff. Absolute immunity. Complete invulnerability to all weapons, except for those of greater than +5 enchantment. That's really fucking rare, by the way. It only lasts 4 rounds. And, I mean, yeah, weapons are really not your problem, generally. So, not too great. Bigby's Crushing Hand. One creature gets crushed by his big fist. 2d10 damage. Then they get pinned if they fail to save. Then 3d damage the next round. Then another save. And then 4d10 damage. Black Bladed Disaster. 18 rounds. You conjure a sword. You're considered to be Grandmaster proficient with it. It acts as a +5 weapon. It deals 2 to 24 damage, +5. That's not detailed here. But you do get +5 per hit. And they have to make a save versus death at +4, be disintegrated, which they're likely to make the save, but yeah. And it also has a chance to drain levels and heal the wielder. It's a very good sword. No doubt about it. And if, like, you can use this against liches and shit, and I might take it, but probably not yet. Energy drain. You lose 2 levels of experience. Oh no. The victim loses 2 levels of experience. Levels, hit dice, hit points, and abilities permanently. Yeah. Most of the time on enemies, it's not that big of a deal. Freedom is the opposite of imprisonment. So imprisonment is like a maze spell. They get imprisoned far below the earth. And they remain there permanently until freedom is cast. Otherwise, they remain there as long as the earth exists. No saving throw, no nothing. They just are gone. I don't know how useful it is. I don't know how, like, recommended it is. Let me just double check. Quite powerful. Remove most monsters with no save or magic resistance. Unfortunately, this removes the loot too. There are a few monsters that are immune to this. It's not overly... I mean, it is powerful. It's just the fact that there are better spells at level 9. That's the only reason that it's not commonly picked. But yeah, it's pretty wild. And having an enemy cast this spell on you is real fucking bullshit. That's all I can say. So freedom reverses that. Gate, this summons a pit fiend. If you are protected from evil, which we are because of the staff, it won't attack us. Otherwise, it attacks everything in sight. Yeah, I mean, it's the best summon spell, I believe, but it's kind of cool. But Meteor Swarm, you rain down meteors. It's 10 damage per round, I believe, with no saving throw. Usually not recommended, but power word kill. If they have 60 HP or less, they die with no saving throw. But it's like 60 HP or less, we can kill that easily most of the time anyways. shape change. You can turn into a Mind Flayer, Iron Golem, Greater Wolfware, Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental, or Giant Troll. Mind Flayer, I believe, is the best of those. Yeah, this spell is recommended because the Mind Flayer form is really powerful in certain situations. Spell Trap, we get this from our staff once per day, so I can tell you exactly what it does. Every spell that hits the barrier is absorbed by the power of the Spell Trap. For example, if a Wizard Shield and Spell Trap is then hit by a Flame Arrow, he gets 3 spell levels back. He will regain 1 spell up to 3rd level in power. It's pretty cool. Spell Trap provides 30 levels of protection, 5 Fingers of Death. That's a cool band name. The Spell Trap can absorb any level of spell from 1 to 9. Spell Strike dispels all magical protections that surround that creature. Yeah, I mean, that's a decent one. It's a decent one. Wail the Banshee. Everyone who is in the radius must save versus death or die instantly. I guess that might be the best AoE spell, but it doesn't actually do damage. So there are a bunch of targets that are immune to insta death. Then finally, Wish. Which I believe we'll be taking. I think that's what they recommend. It's why we grabbed an 18 Wisdom. So we'll just take it, and then you can see what it does. So let me just... Okay. Let's cast Wish. Brings out a genie. Standing before you is a genie of immense power, the air thick with electricity around it. It regards you coolly. Greetings to you, Spellweaver. Are you ready to begin negotiations? Negotiations? What do you mean? The spell you have cast is an attempt to temporarily control vast cosmic power. It is unstable and therefore only truly useful in combat events, unless you have years to devote to the formulation of your wish, of course. It is that formulation that requires negotiation. The genie pulls a quill and a paper scroll from the air, grinning. Since you do not have years to waste, you will attempt to describe to me what you desire from your wish. And I, here the genie looks pleased, will use my vast intelligence to distort your purpose as I please. Don't feel bad. The forces at work here are such that it is not often that one gets what one truly hopes for. But you can certainly try. The wise often do well, and you spellweavers are often quite wise, yes? It taps its quill thoughtfully on its head. Do you wish to begin then? Yes, let's begin. The genie nods. As you say. Quickly, the two of you begin negotiating a complex contract. The genie is tricky, carefully attempting to twist your meaning with words, legal phrases, and clauses you can barely understand. Fortunately, you are quick to catch on. Before long, you begin tricking the genie's phrasings yourself, leaving it quite frustrated. You still doubt you'll get what you want, but chances are the genie won't be able to trick you. The contract complete, the genie dons a pair of spectacles and looks it over with an arched brow. Very well, spellcaster. I can interpret the items listed here in the following ways. Choose carefully which you would prefer. So basically, your wisdom determines, like, how well you negotiate with this genie in order to, like, carefully phrase your wish. Because in normal D&D, when you cast a wish spell, you state your wish to the DM, and the DM then interprets it and tries to carry it out. Now, a lot of DMs are, I guess, sort of assholes about this and will try and screw you over. Whereas other DMs will think about it more logically or whatever in the case of magic, you know. So I don't think in actual D&D a genie appears. But this is sort of like a play on, like, the asshole DM trying to screw you over. So, magic resistance on everyone in the area, including enemies. Everyone in the area, both party members and enemies, become intoxicated. Breach on all enemies in the area. Restoration on all party members. Improved haste on all enemies in the area. Now, you wouldn't want that, I don't think. And you probably wouldn't want everyone to be intoxicated. So really, we got two options here that are good. Restoration on all party members or breach on all enemies. So if I click restoration on all party members, it casts greater restoration on all party members. Now, those options will differ each time, I believe. I mean, they're not always going to be those... Here you go. They're not always going to be the same 5. We got the intoxicated one again, but all party members gain the temporary ability Greater Death Blow. All party members gain the temporary ability Hardiness. Create a random potion in the caster's inventory, or party loses 10,000 gold pieces. Now, the reason that there are bad options is because the lower your wisdom, the more likely there is to have all bad options. Just because you got fucked up in negotiations. So I guess hardiness. Problem is I don't know what all those do. And I doubt it's going to tell me.
It shall
But the absolute, I mean, well, since we're sitting here, I guess. The best effect you can get, the one you're really hoping to get, is, no, I didn't get it. I guess it's kind of tricky, even though we have 18 wisdom. It basically performs a rest on all your party members. So it's as if you rested mid-combat, meaning you get all your spells back, you go back to full HP, all that good shit. That's really the best one. But raising all characteristics to 25 for 4 rounds, that's pretty good. Oh, and I got an achievement for that. Yeah, okay, we'll just we'll end the video on that. So next time we'll finish up with this cult, I assume. More beholders to kill. And if we still have time, there's one other thing I'd like to show you. And then in the following video, we'll be moving on, most likely, to chapter 3. And the game will continue as we search for John Irenicus. My name is Mangg. Game you're watching has been Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.